Welcome back to learning Revit structure. In this lesson, we'll discuss controlling the visibility of your views. So if we look at the view right now in this lesson, it's basically a detail view of columns. Now really, the detail view is based on an elevation of the building, but you don't see all of that because this view is cropped. So one control within the view for visibility is cropping your view. Now the crop view itself, or the rectangular shape of the area that's cropped, is actually turned off. You could turn that on by actually clicking the Show Crop Region button on the view bar on the bottom. When you click that, the View Region Crop rectangle appears. Everything inside of that rectangle is not cropped, everything outside is, except for annotation. Annotation has its own crop box, basically shown by dashed lines. You can see that if you mouse over the solid rectangular crop view. Now, if you want to turn off the cropping altogether within this view to see everything to its full extent, click the icon to the left of the one we just clicked. This one is the Do Not Crop View icon. If you click it, the rest of the view is shown. And as you can see, this is an elevation of the building. To recrop that, simply click the icon again. If you don't want to see the actual crop rectangular shape, turn that off as well. Hide the crop region. Now, some other things you can do are temporarily hide elements within your view. For example, if I didn't want to see something for the moment, I could temporarily hide it to actually manipulate whatever I want to do and then turn it back on. You can also temporarily isolate something and hide everything else. To do that, you can use the eyeglasses to the right of the two icons we just clicked. Temporarily hide and isolate. If you click those, you can actually see you have the hide and isolate options, either for hide and isolate category or hide and isolate element. That basically means that it'll hide either that singular element or all like elements in the entire category. For example, if you click on the level line, you can hide the level line or hide all the level lines, depending if you choose category or element. If you isolate, you hide everything but that. Now, these controls, at least for the crop area and crop region, can be controlled from the properties of the view as well. So over on the left in the property area, if you scroll down, assuming I'm not clicked on anything, and if you scroll down, you'll get to an extent area where you can crop the view, show the crop region, and control the annotation crop. Now, some other things you can do internally with this view as well is control the detail level. Now, I can control that from the property area. As I can see, the detail level right now is fine, and I can set it to medium or coarse. You can also do the same thing on the view bar on the very bottom, fine, medium, and coarse. You can also control whether or not you want to actually shade this, look at it realistic, or in a hidden line mode. The scale is also on the bottom on the view bar, where I can increase or decrease the scale of this view. Now, the view scale actually pertains to what it will be scaled at on your sheet. So if, for example, when you're looking at your model and the lines appear to be really thick just because of the actual scale, technically you don't want to change the scale here in the view. What you would want to do is on the quick launch bar at the very top, I would want to click thin lines. This would thin out all thick lines, showing them just in a thin line detail for the drawing. Not affecting, though, the actual sheet or the items that are scaled on your sheet. Now, another thing you can control within the view, or any view, is the visibility and graphics of the different elements and components that display within your view. That could be columns, it could be floors, it even could be the annotation of the levels. So to control this information for the view without anything being selected, in the property area on the left, I can click Edit to the right of Visibility Graphics. This will bring up the visibility graphics for this particular view. Now here, I can override any current template settings that are applied to this view and manually turn on or off what I want to see. The first tab is Model Categories. These are all the elements of what you're building inside of your model. And you can check mark or uncheck mark to visually show them or not. You can expand a few if there's expanded areas for other elements or sub-items of that actual category. To the right, you can control or override current line colors just by clicking the Override button. Here I can choose a new line weight, new line color, or a new pattern for that category. You could do the same thing for transparency, patterns, lines, and also detail level if it's available for those views. The next tab over is annotation. Same scenario here, except you're controlling the annotation elements. So these are your tags, your different areas for your symbols, your different other elements of text, details, or any other type of annotation category or element that's added into your view. And again, I can turn on or off those elements or override their lines or halftone settings. Now the other tabs across the top control other elements inside of this view. For example, the analytical model categories controls the visibility of these items within the actual view. The imported categories controls elements that are imported in, imported families, for example. Filters, you can set filters to filter a specific element inside of the view to a different line, pattern, or transparency. And the last tab is Revit links. If you've linked in any external sources such as drawing files, DWGs, DXFs, or other Revit files, you can control the visibility of those. By default, they're controlled by the view, hence the display setting on the right, by host view. However, if you click that, you can override those settings and apply your own. Click Cancel. Now, one other thing you may want to do is apply a view template for this specific view. That way you don't have to control or change all of these settings for every view you create. View templates can be managed and created or assigned on the View tab. On the left, you have View Templates, and this is where you can apply a view template to the current view. You can make a new view template from whatever you configured in the current view, or we can manage the view templates by changing or adding our own to our template library. If you click the Manage Templates, here you can filter them by discipline. So I could look at, in this case, structural, and then I could do a sub-filter for maybe floor plans. And here are the actual current templates for floor plans for structural discipline. And I can modify all of the settings on the right for elements within that floor plan. Then I can apply these templates to new views, or as I make new views, I can apply the templates to them, ensuring that all of the settings follow my CAD standards and are configured correctly within that view. Click Cancel. So as a review, in this lesson, we looked at different ways to control the visibility of items within your view. We first talked about cropping the view, cropping off a large region down to a small region, and uncropping. We also looked at temporarily hiding and isolating elements within the view. From there, we looked at the actual visibility graphics, looking also at whether we want to shade or show hidden line types or solid lines. And then lastly, we looked at the visibility of items within our view and being able to control the visibility of those items by creating templates.